Welcome to the podcast, Jason.
Thank you. Great to be here. Thanks.
Yeah, no, nice to have you on. So do you want to tell so what part of business you from?
So I'm from Boyswear Design, and I'm a graphic designer for Boyswear, covering anything you could imagine a print might be on, really.
So, and is it a certain boys wear across all age ranges? Yeah.
So we do older boys. So we specialise in that. We have younger boys obviously as well, but for older boys we do everything from shirt designs, placement prints, AOPs, nightwear prints, jackets, labels, anything you kind of imagine. You've got text or a print on it.
Nice. Busy then.
Busy
and lots of variety, I guess.
Lots of variety. You never know what you're working, or you do know, but you otherwise you wouldn't know what you're doing. But different every day sometimes, and sometimes you might be doing something for t-shirts in the morning, then you're doing a nightwear set in the afternoon. So it's always changing.
And is there a clear distinction between older boys and younger boys in terms of like how you would design those graphics then?
Yeah, I mean the ages do cross over slightly.
Okay.
So it's kind of good if you're a 6-year-old boy, you kind of got the crossover for both ages. So it's
so
a
you
good
got
choice.
everything.
but we kind of go for the slightly older side of 6, and then we go all the way up to 16. So, but as you go up there, definitely the stuff gets like more edgy and cooler. But we do have to cover every customer type, which is the interesting thing.
Yeah, you've said that a few times there, like customer type. What? Because people listening might be like, "What, Jason? What is that?"
Yeah. So you might have like easy classic boy. So he might like the same things every other boy likes, like cars and gaming and football. But maybe he doesn't want to wear the too many bright colours, and maybe it's like more of a simple print, not too standy out in. And then you've got kind of more the edgy boy who might like more streetwear brands, and he wants to be in bright colours and neons and that sort of thing. Then we have skate customer as well. So quite a big customer base.
And is certain things easier to design than others, would you say? Like, because we were kind of chatting a bit before, weren't we? Before we press record, like what is a little bit easier than others?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we go out quite a lot to shops and exhibitions and stuff like that, and we get inspiration from everything like that. So the cooler stuff you see is what you want to work on straight away. And weirdly enough, the edgier stuff is the actual quicker stuff to do sometimes.
Right.
The harder stuff is the more easy boy, more considered, more simple. And obviously you're trying to reinvent this every time you do it. So that's probably the hardest thing to do.
So would that be like, say for example, like, because obviously dinosaurs and stuff, they've been around forever. I remember I had dinosaur tops, loved them.
Yeah,
loved them.
I mean, like dinosaurs, cars. When you see like kids in the shops and stuff like that, they're always like going to those grabbing those little cars from various brands. So reinventing that each time, and dinosaurs is the thing. There's so many dinosaurs, but you always lead to a T-Rex. But there's so many, and then we have like rainbow dinosaurs and stuff like that. Rainbow color stuff does really well for boys. Yeah,
does it?
Yeah. So bright colors do really well, but then obviously the more pared back, simple, washed out colors do really well as well.
Yeah, just depends on the actual person that's buying it.
Person and customer type again, it's like, I think the customer type thing is the word I'll probably say too many times. But it's the breadth that Next has. So, that's what we're always going for, and keep expanding, keep offering more and more to customers and stuff, and try and stay ahead all the time.
And is that, I guess, the breadth and the scale and the size of that, is that appealing to you?
Yeah, that's what I love.
That's really?
That's what I love. It is honestly the most headache because you're kind of like recreating the dinosaur all the time.
Yeah.
But that's what's fun about it. And that's why you kind of look at exhibitions and art and stuff like that to inspire you. Kind of like, we try not to look at, clothing in a way because it's done. So we kind of look to what we've seen, or you look back at, old skate exhibitions and stuff like that to inspire you that way. So, we get a lot of inspiration from art and music and, retro things as well.
That's amazing. That's a really unique way. I've not really heard it put that way before. Kind of don't look at clothing like you know.
I think lockdown was the thing that
Oh,
pushed
really?
that. Yeah, because
okay.
suddenly you're not traveling, so you have to look elsewhere. So you look at what you know and what you love, and you know, music and art are those things. You know, for me, definitely. And then like anything retro as well. Like I love 70s and 80s stuff.
Nice.
So that's like really inspiring for like styling and colours and stuff like that. So yeah, it's really cool.
And there's a difference, right? Because I've worked here long enough now. There's different types of design, because I think sometimes people, and like you said, you are graphic.
Yes.
So is it about the print or the pattern or what? Where does it kind of
for me
differentiate?
I used to be CAD design.
You used to
like
be? Okay.
20 years, and then that kind of I kind of got into graphics. So I always feel like my head kind of designs it in two ways. I'm very much have to visualize it on the garment, and it's about the garment shape as well. So we work with a great team and stuff. So we work out all of that beforehand and stuff. So you kind of know what you're doing, and that garment shape then kind of makes the style of the print as well. What it's going to look like, how cool it's going to be. You know, what placements on the t-shirt are all the difference between it looking modern or old fashioned.
Yeah. And you mentioned there as well, you've done design for what? How long have you been a designer now?
Oh, it's too many years to say out loud.
Well, we'll say 20 years plus.
We'll say 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, really experienced, really is, yeah.
And is that how did that, so was that outside of Next? Yeah.
So I did all the uni fashion textiles and stuff like that, then went into menswear as a supplier.
Yeah.
So I work with people like River Island and Top Man and New Look and stuff like that. And next, through licensing, we supplied menswear on licensing. But then I moved to a new company who didn't have any customers at all, to kind of start fresh with them. And then they said, oh, by the way, you're doing Boyswear as well, which was a bit of a surprise. It wasn't the initial plan.
Okay.
And they had one order, which was with Next, which was a T-shirt with bugs on it. It said, "Don't bug me." So that kind of
still remember that?
I remember roughly the print, although it's been many years now. So we did that and started to speak to the guys at Next and the buyers, excuse me, and the designers and met them, and then kind of got a good relationship going, did quite a lot of work with them, and then a few years later ended up coming here and starting
Nice.
here. And that's 10 years ago now.
10 years.
10 years.
10 years.
10 years and still positive.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's good.
Nice. And is that unusual for you to say, did you expect yourself to be here for 10 years, do you think? If you're being honest.
I mean, I never plan anything like I should do, really, but I never plan these things out, really. It's more about how it develops and stuff and new challenges. I think with Next, over 10 years, it's changed a lot from when I started. Not just customer types, but, you know, involvement in the brand ourselves and stuff. And I feel like that's always expanding. There's always like new responsibilities, and I love absorbing new responsibilities and stuff.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
Yeah. So although, you know, more work always, obviously, but I love that. That's what keeps me interested.
Nice. So it's that growth aspect then, is
Definitely
it? Yeah.
Growth,
which definitely I agree, over the last 10 years is just, I mean, it never feels like it's not exploding, but over the last 10 years in particular.
Yeah.
Especially like, it's almost like, because we went through everyone did, but it just feels like we didn't just get through it. We did well through it.
We adjusted so
well, like, you know, to a climate that was so hard, and the whole thing was difficult for everyone. And then we've come out the other side, and now, because it feels like we've just propelled so quickly to where we are now.
It's crazy because we just do our job.
Yeah.
And then because everyone, it feels, also does their job.
Yeah.
And then you go to results and you hear all these things, and I laughed about the fact that, you know, we're sitting there listening to expansions in warehouses and stuff and actually interested in it, not faking it, actually interested in it, because we all do feel really part of the team here. And that's what the good thing about it is, being working for a big company.
Yeah, I agree. It's not that everyone's really happy doing their own part, and leaving the expert to be the expert.
Yes.
Yeah, and then but also feeding off them.
Yeah.
So you know, like I love I'll never be a designer. I wish I could be.
Yeah.
Maybe I could be. You know, if I applied myself.
Yeah. I mean, I was a garment designer, and then started doing graphics because I got fed up of waiting for the graphic designer to be free. And then I thought, you know, I can draw, so I just started drawing. And
Nice.
then it ended up. Then my graphics started getting picked as a supplier.
Oh, okay.
And then I ended up doing all my graphics and then getting assistants to help me. And then here we've got a really great team of people around me that help kind of pull it all together, and different handwritings, and, you know, amazing team of a few people, but they really make a big difference.
Yeah, because you're part of Kidswear in general, aren't you? Yeah. So Next has got, and that's a pretty big team within our product team, isn't it? In general,
it's
yeah,
massive. And, you know, obviously in lockdown, like kids kept growing,
Yeah.
adults kept growing waist wise, but they didn't really grow in height.
Yeah.
So like Kidswear was amazing through that, and you know, really was great for the company and stuff. And it's just continued that strength and stuff. And the team's really strong. And like I said, we expand customer types as much as we can to make sure we can cater for everybody that might walk into the store or go online.
Yeah, I think as well. Like I've not got kids myself, but I know from like when I used to work in the social team on Next Official and stuff like that, it always used to be like Kidswear was the thing that every single person. It was like a universal agreement that it was the best on the high street. It's like, and it's always been a thing, hasn't it? Like it's weird.
It is weird because I work there, but then I do think it, and it's not that we're bigging ourselves up. It's that we work so hard to make sure we cater for everybody, and the guys through everything from the whole team, from buyers to merch to designers and stuff. We all work together to make sure that product is amazing, and we are bothered about that. And then it just works, thankfully, you know.
Yeah.
And there's nobody like us on the high street that cater for so much, which is good for us, obviously.
No, because it's like you say, you're getting people from, well, you're getting literally newborn as well.
Oh yeah,
all the way to, you know, a 16, 17-year-old.
Yeah, so we have newborn, which have a whole separate department. We all work together and chat through like presentations and stuff like that. Younger boys, again, separate again, but we all work and chat together. So it's very much, as they come from supply background, which is like more competitive.
Okay.
And then you come with here, and of course there's like some competition and stuff like that between departments, but not really. We're very much like support each other. If anyone needs anything or looking for certain prints, we'll always help out. There's no like keeping stuff back. It's very open, and that's what's really good about working here.
I was going to ask that actually, because I guess when working on older boys, I guess at a certain point as well, how you said there's a gap between younger and older. There must be then not a gap, a crossover.
Yeah.
There must be a crossover between older boys and menswear then.
Yeah, definitely. I think menswear, obviously, I think their target market used to be a bit older. Obviously, they've got the room to do that, and I think with the edit and stuff like that, they're definitely hitting some stronger stuff, which is doing really well. Which I feel like they didn't really have that so much before. So I think that's going to obviously really grow for them. That's doing well, and that's where that probably crosses over, because definitely some of the stuff that we do could be menswear. It's more of that kind of like streetwear side, but you know, things like cars and stuff. We talk about that, but we did an actual thing in the last design presentation, because cars are so massive in menswear at the moment. And so there's a lot of trends that are in menswear that are just perfect for boyswear.
Oh,
so it
really?
kind of like, it backs up what we already do, but also means that we expand on it. So if it's a big trend on menswear, and maybe the boys seen his dad wearing a lot of that sort of stuff. So we also think we need to cater for it more than we would do normally. So we'll expand and do different, you know, not like 5 of the same cars, but we'll do different designs and stuff like that, you know, whether it's like watercolor painted or like an AI created car. So we just make sure that we expand on our variety all the time.
Yeah, because I was going to say, do you know, because I guess certain people when they're listening to this or watching it might think, oh, you're talking about cars. And I think when I'm thinking of it, I'm thinking, oh, like quite young or quite, what's the word? Like almost animated style, but actually you're talking more like actual proper detail print here,
and
aren't
like
you?
Monster trucks and like 4x4s and Tokyo drift cars and stuff like that, and like supercars, stuff like that. We do like really well on like Formula One racing cars or something like that. We would do really well on that sort of thing, but again, because we cover different customer types. Again, so like definitely like there's a range of illustration styles that suit all those different customers, and so when we say gamer, football, or stuff like that, we try and make sure that we cover all those different people in those different styles. So yeah, it's quite exciting and fun to do.
Yeah, and you said though we've had a few people on, and being in like designing for a while. What is design's presentation, by the way? Because it comes up all the time, and I've got I've been to the odd one over the years, but just explain it to me in your own words. If you
well, we'll definitely share one with you so you can see. But like, so basically we'll all to get together. So that's definitely an example of where we'll all get together as all like
on Kidswear,
all on Kidswear. For us, like Newborn do a separate one. But we'll look at each other's anyway. But younger boys and older boys always do a design presentation 4 times a year. And that's where we might have been traveling and had actual time to research, where you make yourself stop and get off of that 3-pack night, whatever you do it, and actually look at trends and art and stuff like that, and then come together and see what we all find. And then you often see this crossover of trends, which we've all seen, and it kind of reinforces that. And then we'll pull that together and present that to the buy-in and merch, and then at least it gives them kind of a feel. And most of the time, buy-in have maybe come out with us as well. Okay. So they've seen some of the trends themselves and stuff, and they're obviously looking at the latest things themselves. And then we present it, and then we kind of work on that for the season. But there's new stuff all the time. There's new trends, or there's a new exhibition, or someone's been shopping, they've seen some amazing like artwork or something that we then think, oh, do you know what, that'd be really cool as a gaming controller. So it's all about interpreting trends and making sure that it's something that a boy's going to love.
How do you get to the point where you see something new and you kind of, because like if I see something new, I'm a bit like I can't think of what the animal is. The bird that likes the shiny things. Sparrow. Magpie. Yeah. Love the new shiny thing. Like, love it. But I've kind of learned that still gotta work on all of this as well. How do you get that balance of design? Because I guess you couldn't you be like,
sometimes you don't. Sometimes you see the latest trends, the latest magpie, you want to get that straight in. And sometimes the kid isn't ready for that magpie. He's not seen anyone else wearing it. And we've seen it in like Paris or LA, and we think that this is the newest magpie. And then we're too early. And you can't always get it right. But then the good thing about Next is they will try it, and even if we are too early, we'll go for it. And then you will often find that then that trend hits maybe 6 months later. But what we don't do is we don't drop it. We will try and push it.
Oh, really?
So eventually it will hit the right point with it. I mean, sometimes you're lucky and it will just go straight away. You know, some social media stars wearing something like it, and then it's a hit. But you just got to put the best thing out there. And, like I say, keep covering different things. So you kind of got your groundwork done, and you've done all your normal cars, and then you put some crazy car out there that you think is mental, and people love it. And that's the best thing, when something's unexpected is done really well.
Is that I was going to ask you, where do you get the most satisfaction from with your designs?
I think it's when we've all felt strong for something, but it's different and it's got in. And then it's done really well. Because
I guess there's that anticipation for a little period, isn't it? From when you've designed it, it's gone, it's there, and you're just waiting to see like...
I feel like once you've got it in, the release probably an hour, and then you're on to the next thing.
Oh, right.
And then
it's an hour?
Yeah, because just, we're all so busy, because, we're doing really well, we're also busy. And... we're all on to then again what the next trend is. That one's in. So you just, like we've just finished summer. So like we've been designing autumn for quite a while, but summer's kind of signed off. So now we can relax and just hit straight into autumn.
Autumn of next year.
Next year, yeah. So, so now it's like start again, try and get those newest trends into autumn, for next year. And hopefully we'll do that.
And you've obviously been in design for a while. Is it hard to go from to be in like winter and talk about spring and to go from that, or is it just the norm? Or
there is like some like things that happen and stuff with issues with shape and stuff like that, because when you go into autumn winter, you suddenly got to go to long sleeve, and then certain things work really well on long sleeve, and it gives you more room. You can put prints on the sleeves and stuff like that, which you couldn't really do as much with short sleeve. But you've got to be careful with that, because certain prints work great on short sleeve, but for a jersey, for example, but if you put it in a long sleeve, it can look very nightwear.
Okay.
So we do have to adjust and stuff to that. But of course, when you get into winter, you can do sweats and hoodies and all that stuff. And then before you know it, you're on Christmas.
Yeah, which I guess is pretty big.
Pretty mental. And then you got the family link in and all that sort of stuff, which is, again, great, and all the Insta photos and all that. So, it's massive. Like, it's never, in summer, you've got all the barbecued shirts and all the summer sets and all that sort of stuff. So no season is the same. So that's why I guess it's constantly changing.
And gives you that variety, keeps you on your toes, keeps you interested.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And the guys we work with are amazing. And the CAD designers are amazing from every area. And then all the graphics that support us on our team are fantastic. So we're really lucky.
Yeah. I guess that's something I hear a lot as well around Next, is like everyone wants to be in that like solid team environment and enjoy that team environment. I think that's, go back to your earlier point where you were saying like when you were working with suppliers and stuff, it was like a bit more competitive and probably a little bit more cutthroat.
Definitely, yeah.
Whereas here like you say, it's there, isn't it, the competition, but it's not like direct it's hard to describe.
I mean, we have suppliers and we have internal companies and stuff that we work with. So there's competition, but it's very much the point of wanting as much handwriting in as possible. And by handwriting, I mean different designers.
Okay.
So it's not like we want every single print to be mine or one of my friends I work with. We just want it to look the best. And if that's that really happens when we have a variety of different people working on the range. Because they're looking at stuff from different view and their own view, so hence you get more design and more variety. So the cutthroat thing isn't there. Wherever it's a supplier, the difference I think I found as being a supplier, you can do the coolest, nicest T-shirt, the best that they've seen that day, but it doesn't mean you'll get the order, because if they like supply with someone else, or they've got a price point with someone else and you can't get to that, you're done. You're not getting the order. When you work for Next, the buyers will find a way to get that print in. They'll get that price to the point where we can buy it, and that's the difference. There's none of that. If you do a great print and everyone loves it, it's in.
Right.
And there's no disappointment of like, you can't get to that price point from Turkey or whatever. The buyers will sort it, and that's the whole team thing. That's great.
Which, being a designer as well, that must be really like comforting, because I've got some designers in my team that they don't do clothing, but they do other things. But I know as well that when, if you're tweaking designs or saying no or stuff, you can. It's quite a personal thing, isn't it?
It is.
It's a very personal thing. So
I think people don't realise how sensitive designers are. And then
you said that, though.
Yeah, I've definitely we all definitely are, but we've all got different levels of shield, which kind of protect us from it to a point. But it is really personal, because you've thought of that idea, or the designer that you've worked with, or the buyer have come up with this idea with you. It's very much a team process and stuff. But when you draw it and create it, it's kind of a very personal thing. But it's the same thing as even though you're not a supplier and you're doing it directly for the company, you still might put 10 prints on one T-shirt and they end up taking off 3. And that, you've just got to play the odds and just be happy to get it in.
Yeah.
I always say to some guys I work with, if we have to change prints and they might not be happy about changing something of it, if you get 80% of the newest thing in, it's still going to be like better than what not getting it in.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to compromise, and sometimes you compromise, and the buyer or the manager is right, and you have to just sew that in, and it's all for the company at the end of the day, and you just want the good sales.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it's, I think, especially I find with the people in product, whether it's buying, merch, design, tech, those 4 key professions, you are always focused at that, aren't you? You are focused at those sales, but you all come at it in different ways. Yeah.
I think you try not to think directly about it, but that's kind of what you want. You're trying to tick off certain things because you know they're going to sell.
Yes.
Then you're putting in other things where there's no comparison to it last year. We never did it last year. There's lots. We're always going for newness in our ranges. So a lot of time there's nothing to compare it to last year. So you've got no sales figures to base it on. And this is that's becomes the wild card. But then as a company, that's kind of what we need to do. And luckily we have strong managers that are always wanting that new. So that's the positive. And the managing team are always wanting the newest thing. So that keeps us on our toes as well.
And that's important. I think that's important in any area next, that you've got that buy-in from managers, directors, even, like you mentioned earlier, even Simon, when he does the results, he talks about newness and making sure that we stay on our toes, so to speak, and keep pushing that forward, because that's important. To just become kind of stagnant, I think everyone around here would get pretty worried, wouldn't they?
Yeah. I think that's the thing. It's always keeping us relevant to what's out there, but it's always like trying to offer that newest thing that people haven't seen yet. So it's supporting the customer you've got, but trying to always gain new customers is the thing. We're always expanding warehousing and everything like that for this reason, that they want us to do more and do better. And Simon's speeches are always good and funny, and I do love that he mentioned slow horses in the last one, because it just really makes those things relevant to everyone else. That is like, I watched that; it's an amazing show. So we are all kind of similar in a way.
100%.
So that's quite cool.
100%. And if you were gonna give a bit of advice to anyone that maybe was thinking like, oh, do I join Next? Do I not? I'm a designer. I'm a freelance designer. I really enjoy that. Should I do it? Like, what would it be?
So we had some people from Nottingham-Trent come for like work placement for a couple of weeks, and one of the girls, I'll say Hannah, because that's her first name. I won't do full name. So she was really good. I had her for a couple of weeks, and what impressed me was her variety that she could do. And I mentioned the customer type word again, but like the variety of customer type is different handwritings. So if one person can do multiple handwritings, that is the most important thing for me. Yeah. And she was great. And then she's ended up taking a year out to do a work sandwich placement with us. And then she'll go back to Trent next year. So we've got her now for a year after.
Wicked.
We're trying to train her and teach her stuff, and there'll be things that she'll show me and teach me that I don't know. Because
and do you enjoy that as well, that she's bringing that newness in?
Definitely. Like, you've got to be really open-minded in design. You can't, you're not the best at everything or know everything. You've got to just absorb from people, and the whole working together thing is really easy, because there's no one's precious and stuff. If someone gets stuck on how to do something, they'll tell each other. And if they learn how to do stuff on programs and stuff, they'll tell other people about it. They don't keep that back. Everyone kind of like is just involved together, and it's great.
Awesome, brilliant. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
No, that's great. I mean, I can clearly tell that you love design, which I love people when they've got a massive passion for their industry.
Yes,
it's something that I'm like, just tell me everything. So thanks for coming on, explaining it all, Jason.
You're welcome. Great to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.